Alright guys, so as you know it's not Christmas yet, we're not even in July, so it can't even be Christmas in July, but I do have a wish list. So as you guys know, I start this account, that's my rares only and below account, and I have a few champions that I really wish I could pull, and I'm gonna tell you guys why and how they would help this account. So let's get to it. What's up guys, it's your boy Rusian with another Raid Shadow Legends video on the rares and below only account. Alright, so like I said guys, it's very hard, okay, to be able to actually compete on raid with only rares and below. So let's take a look on the champions that I really wish I could pull, and I'm gonna explain why. Now, I will skip Cold Heart because y'all know she's good in every area of the game, so I'm not really going to be saying much, right? So let's take a look in those other champions. If you want to become a part of my squad in Raid, click on my link in the description right now and get a free legendary Karato as well as 4 epics as you level up. Let me show you how. Log out of Player in Play on PC and uninstall. Click the link in the description and register with a brand new email. Launch Raid and complete the tutorial. Go to your inbox and claim your first champion. That's all you need to do to get a free Karato as well as Uugo, Rector Drath, Tagoar, and Mausoleum Mage as you level up. Don't miss out and click on my link right now. Alright guys, so the first champion I wish I could pull, and now just remember that's not in order of which one's the best, which one's the worst, okay? But it would be Selenia Nightcloak. So let's look at her kit. So her A1 Soul Burst Arrow attacks one enemy, heals this champion by 10% of their max HP, heals this champion by 20% of HP instead when attacking a target under an HP burn debuff. On her A2, attacks all enemies, has a 50% chance of increase the duration of any HP burn debuffs by 1 turn. And on the A3, attacks 3 times at random. Before attacking, place a 25% increase accuracy buff on this champion for 2 turns. Each hit has also a 50% chance of placing an HP burn debuff for 2 turns. Now, it goes up to 75% if booked, and it goes on a 4-turn cooldown. Now, the reason why this would be a great champion to pull is because there are not many rares that actually cause HP burn. As you guys know, some areas in the Doom Tower, it's required. And second, she's not attacking just one champion and cause the HP burn. She's actually doing 3 random attacks. So you have a chance to actually cause multiple HP burns in different enemies, okay? So that's what is one of the most interesting things about her. Plus, she can self-heal, okay? And she can actually extend the duration of the HP burn, and it's in a 3-turn cooldown if booked. So some of the same things that we have with some other champions, but usually they're like legendary champions or anything. So she would be great for our squad, and the only thing is, as you guys see, she is Void champion, what makes a little bit harder sometimes to pull, but eventually we'll pull her and she will be great help for the account. All right, so let's go to our second champion. All right, so our second champion, and I know it's a bit of a cheat code, okay? Belluar, probably one of the best rares of the game, and one of the best things about him, not only he hits hard, but on his A1, attacks all enemies, and has 20% chance of placing a block active skills debuff for 1 turn. So great for waves, great on Spider, and pretty much everywhere. Then on his A2, attacks on enemies, has 50% chance of placing a 15% decreased speed debuff for 2 turns. So decreased speed, it can be on Fire Knight, it can be pretty much anywhere in the game. Very valuable because it allows you to create more hits against your enemy. Plus he's maxed down pretty hard, what helps a lot. And his A3 attack, Bow Over, attacks all enemies, has 75% chance of placing a 25% decrease attack debuff for 2 turns, and has a 75% chance of placing a 30% decreased defense debuff for 2 turns. Okay, those are the small versions, but it is in a 4-turn cooldown if booked, and it does help a lot. I mean, there are a couple of champions that can do the bigger version, but a lot of times not together, not in the same attack, okay? Plus, he gives increased speed on faction crypts, what will be very necessary if we plan to complete or get anywhere in faction crypts. So Bellower would be a great acquisition to the account. Like I said, almost every single area. Fire Knight, probably for waves, and also choose his decreased speed, okay? But that's about it. All right, so we go to our number 3. All right, number 3 is Longsword Thorax. Okay, this is big champion, and I need to actually detail a little bit because I think he's one of the best rares in the game right now. Okay, a lot of times overlooked. I did not have much use for him, basically because my main account, I really don't need him. I have other champions that can do much better, but an account where I'm running only rares, this dude is massive. And let me show you why. His A1 attacks one enemy and has 35% chance of placing a leech debuff for 2 turns, what helps keep your teams alive. On the A2, attacks all enemies, and before attacking, place a 30% increased defense buff in all allies for 2 turns, has a 45% chance of placing a provoke debuff for 1 turn. So pretty much, and it's in a 3 turn if booked, and let's just be honest, if you need control, waves and everything, and I'm also using only rares, a lot of your champions gonna be squishier than you can imagine. So this guy can do a lot, okay, with little. And now let's go to the most important part of this dude, okay? And it's Blade Breaker. Place a block damage buff on this champion for 1 turn if the incoming damage exceeds 20% of this champion's max HP. Passive effect counterattacks when hit by an enemy under a provoke debuff. So it is on a 4-turn cooldown. Now, a couple of main things about this guy is, for example, Bombo. The bomb's gonna explode. It costs more than 20%. So if you speed tune him, you can actually pretty much keep yourself alive the whole time against him, okay? So pretty big. Plus, even against Magma Dragon, okay, provoke works on him. So you can use him, and every time he gets hit smack down, oh, he's fine. Not a problem, okay? So, may take some speed tuning in some areas of the game, but pretty much everywhere, he would be a great acquisition. All right, so let's go to numero 4. All right, so number 4 from the Sylvan Watchers, and it's 3 Shield Knot. Now, let me just clarify right away. 3 Shield Knot's probably the best rare reviver in this game as of right now. Let's go through his kit. So his A1 attacks one enemy 3 times, which is very valuable against Fire Knight. Each hit has 20% chance of placing a 25% decreased attack debuff for 2 turns. On his A2, he heals all allies by 15% of their max HP. Also place a 30% increased defense buff on all allies for 2 turns, and that's on a 3-turn cooldown, what is really good. And on the A3, revives 2 random allies with 25% HP and 25% turn meter. Also place a shield buff on all revived allies for 2 turns, equal to 20% of their max HP. So, best reviver in the game. And I know you guys gonna say, well, Apothecary may be easier to get because he's not a Void champion. I get it. I'm not saying I would be upset if I pulled Apothecary, but 3 Shield Knot would help the account a lot more, okay? That's just what I'm saying. And let's take a look on our last champion right now, and he's from the Sacred Order, and the reason why I left him for last, even I was pretty much climbing up now, it's because he's farmable. All right, so, and it is Templar. Basically, Templar, a lot of areas, you know, most when we talk about Momo as well, he can solo him, and that's why he's pretty much on my list. Again, you need speed tune. It may take pretty much close to the max amount of turns against Bomo, but pretty good. And it's because his A1, he attacks one enemy and has 30% chance of placing a 30% increased speed debuff for 2 turns. So big version, okay? And damage inflicted is proportional to defense. On his A2, attack 4 times at random, so also great against Fahrenheit. Each hit has 25% chance of placing a provoke debuff for 1 turn, and place a block damage buff on this champion for 1 turn. Damage inflict proportional to defense. Now, and it is on a 3-turn cooldown, so very feasible for you guys to be able to solo a lot of content in the game, pretty much just by every time you have a smackdown, every time you have one of the main attacks, you just create the block damage and you're fine. And his passive attacks with this champion default skill whenever an enemy places a debuff on this champion. Also great in a lot of areas in the game. There are different builds for him, in the most when we're talking about like Doom Tower bosses, okay? So I would say regeneration set on him in a lot of situations would probably be the best. So you keep him alive, keep him healing himself, like everybody died, and this guy just kept tipping and taking little by little the boss's energy, okay? So really good champion, pretty easy to get, definitely a champion that is on my wish list right now. I just don't have enough energy to farm him. So for me, those are like probably the 5 top ones. Like I said, Cold Heart, yeah, I don't even need to say. But massive champions, I do have other champions that I would wish to get as well. But I feel those 5 are probably the ones that I wish to get sooner than later. So let me know in the comments, you guys, what champions do you think would change that rares and below only account, okay? Let me know in the comments. And do you think I'm wrong about any of those champions I picked? Okay? Alright guys, really appreciate y'all being here. And as always, I'll see you in the game.